What's up everybody? In this video I'm going to compare the Samsung Galaxy A52 5G with the Apple iPhone 12. Let's go ahead and get started. So the Galaxy A52 5G is the perfect phone if you want to get an Android Samsung flagship and you don't want to spend $800 on the S21. This A52 is a real good deal on a Samsung if you want that flagship feeling, flagship software. And this phone only costs you $500. The Apple iPhone 12 is your go-to iPhone if you want to get a new iPhone, flagship iPhone from the iPhone 12 series, and it has 5G. So both of these phones are very comparable. It's a good matchup. Let's go ahead and take a look. So first thing to compare is going to be the price. I already mentioned that the A52 is a great deal. It's like you're getting a flagship S21 but in a cheaper package at $500. The iPhone 12, that's a 5G iPhone flagship at $800. So $500 versus $800. Overall size, the A52 is 6.3 inches tall, 2.9 inches wide, 0.33 inches thick. iPhone 12, smaller, 5.7 inches tall, 2.8 inches wide, 0.29 inches thick. So overall, smaller, thinner, shorter phone is the iPhone 12. For the weight, the Galaxy A52 is 6.67 ounces, while the iPhone 12 is a lightweight phone at 5.78 ounces. So the overall lighter weight, if you want something that's not as heavy, get the iPhone 12. For the build quality, the A52 has a glass front, plastic back, Gorilla Glass 5. iPhone 12 is a glass front, glass back, aluminum frame with Gorilla Glass all around. So basically, if you want the better build quality, the iPhone 12 has it. The A52, although it is a good replacement for a flagship Android Samsung, it's going to have that plastic build all around, and I don't have a problem with that. You're saving $300 compared to the iPhone 12's better build quality. For the SIM card, the Galaxy A52, depending on your market, you might be getting a single SIM card variant or a dual SIM card variant. The iPhone 12 comes with a eSIM built in, and that way you could you don't have to go to a store to physically get your SIM card. You could activate it right on the phone, and it's good for travelers, or you just want to have two different SIM card plans, or two different data plans, two different phone numbers. And the A52 is good if you want two physical SIM cards at the same time, depending which model phone you get. So both of these phones have options if you want multiple services at the same time. The $500 A52 has an IP67 dust and water resistance, up to 1 meter for 30 minutes. The $800 iPhone 12 has IP68 dust and water resistance, so it's a little bit better with water. Dunk it up to in water up to 6 meters for 30 minutes. Now we get to the displays. The A52 has a Super AMOLED display capable of 120 hertz refresh rate, while the iPhone 12 has a Super Retina display, and it's gonna probably have the 60 hertz refresh rate. Now, when it comes to the size of the display, you got a bigger size on the A52 at 6.5 inches versus the 6.1 inch display on the iPhone 12. So if you like bigger displays, the A52 is right up your alley. The screen to body ratio is 84% on the A52, 86% on the iPhone 12. So smaller bezels on the iPhone 12. Resolution is almost the same. You have 1080 by 2400 on the A52, 1170 by 2532 on the iPhone 12. That translates to 407 ppi on the A52, 460 ppi on the iPhone 12. So both of these are good because they're north of 400, but you have to give the slight edge to the iPhone 12. Now for the software, the A52 has Android 11 on board with Samsung One UI on top. iPhone 12 is running iOS 14. Both of these operating systems will get upgraded in the future. You're probably going to get several years, around 3 years at least, probably in the A52. Samsung is making a push to push out more reliable updates, while the iPhone 12 is going to get 5 to 6 years of updates, because Apple's really good at releasing software past its initial release. Now for the chipset, you have a Qualcomm Snapdragon 750 in the A52. You get the Apple A14 Bionic on the iPhone 12. Both of these chipsets are very powerful, and they will run pretty much every app you could find in the app stores, except that the Snapdragon Qualcomm on the Galaxy A52 is going to be a little bit less powerful than the Apple A14 Bionic. You won't feel the slowdown or anything of a meaningful difference if you compare these two together, but over time that A14 Bionic on the iPhone 12 will last a little bit longer. Both of these chipsets will definitely run your most popular apps: YouTube, Netflix, your messaging apps, your GPS maps to Google Maps, Snapchat, IG, all your games. They should have no problems running on either of these phones. For internal storage, the A52 has 128 gigs of internal storage as the base, while the iPhone 12 has 64 gigs of internal storage with the base. So obviously the A52 wins here. 128 gigs is a very good amount, very generous amount of storage for pretty much 99% of users out there. 64 gigs is good for most people if you're not a power user on the iPhone 12. But obviously, if you care about storage a lot for your music, your movies, your apps and stuff like that, the A52 will be your device. And on top of that, it also has a micro SD card slot, so you could push the envelope with more storage by adding a cheap micro SD card slot. So in the storage department, the A52 will carry you a long way. As for RAM, the A52 has 6 gigs of RAM, iPhone 12, 4 gigs of RAM. Both of these amounts of RAM are good for their operating system. 6 gigs of RAM for an Android phone will be more than enough for most people. You pair that with that Snapdragon processor, you're gonna have a really good experience running apps in the background and performance. The iPhone 12 and iOS in general uses RAM very efficiently, and 4 gigs of RAM is more than enough. This would be enough to run all your apps in the background without any type of crashes or anything like that. So the iPhone 12 and 4 gigs of RAM is also good, so I consider this almost a tie. Now let's talk about the cameras. The A52 has a quad camera setup: 64 megapixel main, 12 megapixel ultra wide, 5 megapixel macro, 5 megapixel depth. iPhone 12 has a double camera: 12 megapixel shooter wide, regular, the regular camera, main camera, and then the 12 megapixel ultra wide. Both of these phones can shoot up to 4K for the video resolution, which is good. Overall, both of these cameras are going to be great for everyday people. 99% of people will be happy with both of these cameras, but if you're a real enthusiast for video and picture taking and all that quality, you're gonna have to roll with the iPhone 12. You're just gonna get an overall better quality. It's the flagship, top of the line camera system for video and for picture taking. Now the A52 is no slouch either. You're gonna get a very good camera in this phone, and it will please most users no problem. At that price point, you got the $500 for the A52. You're gonna get good pictures and videos, but the iPhone 12 will give you a way better, more reliable picture taking experience at $800. Selfie cameras on these, the A52 has a 32 megapixel shooter, while the iPhone 12 has a 12 megapixel shooter, and both these phones offer 4K video resolution for the selfie. So very impressive selfie setup on both of these phones. Both of these phones are rocking stereo speakers, but the A52 has a headphone jack while the iPhone 12 does not. That'll help you connect your headphones, your mic, and connect it to your car via aux cord to listen to your music. It's going to be a little bit of a hassle on the iPhone 12. If you've embraced wireless in your life and wireless devices, both of these phones offer Bluetooth 5.0, and that means both of these will have no problem connecting your wearables or your smartwatch or your smartband, your wireless headphones or your speakers. All those devices will work perfectly with both of these phones. Both phones have NFC, except that the A52 depends on your market and region, and basically NFC will be used for payment services. For the charging port, the A52 has a USB Type-C port, while you get Lightning port on the iPhone 12. The USB-C port is a very versatile port. Same port used on laptops, MacBooks, Chromebooks, Windows PCs, tablets, iPads, and other Android phones. So there's a lot more different devices you could use with Type-C. The Lightning port is a little bit more limited. It's strictly pretty much for Apple devices. Last but not least is battery. The A52 has a 4500 milliamp battery. iPhone 12 has a 2815 milliamp battery. Now there's a big difference on paper, but the A52 will last you pretty much most of the day. The iPhone 12 will also last you most of the day. It's kind of a tie with the battery department because iOS uses battery very efficiently. Both of these do offer fast charging. You get 25 watts on the A52, you got 20 watts on the iPhone 12. Both of these phones should give you the same amount of 50% charge in 30 minutes of plugging it in. A little bonus on the on the iPhone, that's going to give you the Qi magnetic charging with MagSafe, so a little bit of extra charging option on the iPhone. So what are my conclusions for both of these phones? Which one is better? Which one should you get? Well, one of the big differences is the price. You have $500 for the A52 versus the $800 on the iPhone 12. So a difference of $300. And the A52 is a very strong competitor at that price point because you're basically getting an S21 minus a few features, but you're getting that flagship feel and you're saving $300. Now the iPhone 12 is a very strong competitor overall because it is a very reliable phone with a great camera system, a great battery life, and those iOS apps that it's only found on iPhone. So iMessage, FaceTime, AirDrop, iMovie, just to name a few. You're gonna pay more than the A52, but you're gonna get lots of updates. But the A52 has that big battery, has the headphone jack, has the micro SD card slot. You're getting a lot of value with these extra things on the A52 that aren't offered on the iPhone 12. It kind of strictly comes down to price and the types of apps in your ecosystem, which both of these are pretty good, except you get a little bit of a bonus on the apps on the iPhone 12 that you can't find on Android. So it depends on your preference. With that being said, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Peace.